Hello everyone and welcome back to Redacted. Today we have more posts from r/Am I the Antagonist, so let's get into it. First up, we've got a story from a military veteran who witnessed his neighbor's house being robbed and didn't stop it. A little backstory. I was in the military for 5 years, have been in the SWAT team for 3. I own a lot of guns and I know how to use them well. I live at home with my girlfriend and our newborn. My next door neighbors had gone out of town to visit the husband's sick mother, and my bedroom directly faces their backyard. I go to sleep pretty late most nights, and around 1 a.m., I see 4 masked guys busting through the backyard and hopping the fence to my neighbor's house, where they then proceed to break the latch on my neighbor's back door and head inside. Immediately, I called the cops, and while waiting for them to arrive, all 4 of the men rush out of the house and run into the woods. They had clearly thought some of this through, because they were long gone by the time the cops arrived. I tell the cops what I saw and I call it a night. The next day, my neighbors showed up earlier than anticipated to assess the damage. My neighbor walks across the yard and opens my fence after I waved him in. The conversation starts off light, but he eventually brings up the fact that the police told him that I witnessed everything. Then he questioned why I did nothing to stop it. The intruders didn't have guns by the looks of it, and I'd had years of tactical training. He thinks I should have scared them off or injured them before they made out with all of their savings, which unfortunately still has not been found. In my humble opinion, after being in firefights, the only battles that you should be in are the vital ones, the ones you need for victory and safety. I have a girlfriend and a baby 20 feet away. It isn't legal to shoot at another person's property. And it mostly wasn't my problem. Call me selfish, but any risk of these burglars trying anything on my family, I wasn't going to take that chance. Maybe I could have stopped 4 guys if I had rushed home with my guns, but that's not my job. That's the job for a police officer on duty. Obviously, had it been my home, it would have been different, but my family was safe, and that's all that mattered. Am I the antagonist? Pretty much across the board, everyone said that this guy's not the antagonist. The consensus being that it was an unnecessary risk towards his family when the theft wasn't even occurring on his own property.
Not the antagonist. You got your girlfriend and your kid to take care of, and you wasn't even sure the robbers had guns.
Agreed. The neighbor is absolutely insane to expect OP to go around doling out vigilante justice. That's a good way to open yourself up to legal trouble as well as potentially hurting yourself and others. Finally, there is no reason to escalate this situation into a confrontation. The neighbor's property is not worth the OP's life, his family's life, or even the lives of those robbers. OP did the exact right thing. Call the police and witness everything from a safe distance.
Not the antagonist. I can't freaking stand people like your neighbor. They were out of town, so there was no danger. I'm sure you would have handled yourself just fine, but it's an unnecessary risk. You're at a disadvantage in the fight because I'm assuming you're a law-abiding citizen while the robbers are not. And guns are typically hidden, so how the hell are you supposed to know that they didn't have any? You called the cops, that's it. Simple as that. Your only job was to make sure your family was safe and that your house wasn't next. Screw your neighbor for expecting to leave your family and potentially put them in danger as well as yourself in order to potentially save their materialistic items. Pretty cut and dry, but what do you guys think? Sound off in the comments while we move on to the next one. Our next post comes from an art student whose mother tries to take ownership of her artwork. I'm an 18-year-old fine arts student currently living at home with my parents during quarantine. Recently, I made a character model that blew up online and got a few million views, so I decided I would try to sell it on Etsy to make some extra cash. Well, my mom insisted on helping me when I mentioned my social media attention, so I let her ship it while I dealt with talking and selling to the customers. After a day, it sold, so I figured I'd make more to sell and show my followers. As I was working, my dad came in to tell me that my uncle was talking about the model. I asked him what he meant since I hadn't shown him any pictures. Dad said he had no idea how he found them, but that my uncle had texted him about it. Something you should know about me, I'm extremely insecure about my art. In high school, I barely even turned in my work for fear of my teacher being judgmental or showing other people. So for the last year, I've been working more on my confidence in myself, gradually moving out of my comfort zone and exposing my work to other people. One way I've been able to do that is through social media, and the slow progression of an audience has drastically improved my confidence. My mom knows this, but she seems to completely disregard it, often sending my stuff to family and friends without even asking. So I called her into my room to confront her. Mom, you sent my model to Uncle, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Why would you think that?
Dad told me Uncle saw, and we didn't send it, so...
Why would you blame me? You put it on Etsy. Obviously, he saw it there.
Mom, he doesn't have an Etsy, and it shows that 10 people have viewed it. You think he just so happened to be one of those people after the listing was only up for a day? This continues back and forth until she eventually admits that she did send the picture. I yell at her asking why she would do that, and she said she only did it because she was proud of me. I said I knew that, but why was she sending this to people without my permission? Then it hit me. She said it was the family's art, and that she had the right to show it to whoever she wants. At this point I was furious, asking her how in the hell she thought my work was the family's or even her business. She said I was horrible and that she only did this to support me. I told her it had nothing to do with support, but with my privacy, and I asked her why she couldn't try to see it from my point of view. After further arguing, I discovered she took the pics by going through my iPad when I left it on, went to my Etsy page, took pictures of all of my listings, and sent it out to not only my uncle, but all of our family she's close with, saying she only did that because I wouldn't tell her my social media name. Gee, I wonder why not. At this point, I'm horrified. I know she's proud of me, and I'm thankful for that, but I just want some privacy. Am I the antagonist? Commenters felt a little mixed, with some people saying she's not the antagonist and some people saying everyone sucks here. Not the antagonist. That's your art. If you don't want anyone to see it, that's your choice. I'm an artist, and I'm also self-conscious about my art, so I understand. Maybe set some boundaries with your mom so she understands. Everyone sucks here. Your mom went about this the wrong way, and yes, she crossed a lot of lines and invaded your privacy. No one owns your art but you. As a parent, I understand being a proud mama, but it's yours, not hers. The other issue here, though, is once you post something online, it's no longer private. So the lines of online privacy get blurry, especially when you let her be involved with the sale in the first place. How do you guys feel? Who's really in the wrong? Sound off in the comments, and let's move on to the next one. Our next post features a mom who accidentally saw her daughter's boyfriend half naked, and now she won't stop talking about it. This is ridiculous, but my mom thinks I'm being a stuck-up meanie, so here it goes. Due to recent events, the university dorm closed and my boyfriend and I moved in with my parents. We do our part to contribute, and we mainly stay within our own room, so there hasn't been very many problems. We bought a new bedroom door handle with a lock many moons ago, but sometimes we forget to lock it. Well, we used to forget, but now we always lock it. Because a few months ago in the middle of the morning, my mom busted into my room while we were sleeping to retrieve a pair of her shoes that I had borrowed the day before. And we were half naked, obviously, cause we were asleep. And my boyfriend was only wearing boxers and allegedly had a little bit of booty crack poking out. She was in and out before either of us could wake up though. Cue to the next day and she tells me,
I saw your boyfriend's butt crack and I am traumatized. That is just not natural.
And recounted the entire story from her perspective. She wasn't serious, she was laughing a lot like it was the most hilarious thing. I was a little annoyed that she didn't even try to knock or anything, but I figured it was my fault for not locking the door in the first place. Whatever. But then she proceeded to tell everyone, like my dad, my brother's wife, all the aunties, her friends, random people. It was the same two lines, laughing like it was the punchline of the year. It's been months and she's still telling people. My poor boyfriend is so shy and this has really embarrassed him. And kinda creeped him out. He really doesn't like that she's so obsessed with his butt crack. So I, in an admittedly annoyed tone, told her to stop and that it's weird. And she got all offended and thinks I'm stuck up. Am I the antagonist? Everyone pretty much unanimously thinks that the mom is a creep. Not the antagonist, yikes, OP. Your mom sounds like a real piece of work. Having a bit of friendly banter is fine, but having that much of an obsession is disturbing as hell. I don't know how she actually responds to confrontation, but I'd say maybe take her aside and have a calm, serious conversation with her. Talk about how uncomfortable it makes both of you feel, and how it doesn't seem normal that she acts like that. If she's still being stubborn, maybe talk to the other people she's told. Ask what they think of what she said and how she acts. You may be able to find some assistance or even just some support from them. I hope you and your boyfriend are feeling okay though. No one should have to feel uncomfortable about their own body like that. Someone else had the suggestion to just call her out. Not the antagonist, call her out in front of people.
Oh my god, I saw my daughter's boyfriend's butt.
God, Mom, I knew you liked younger guys, but your fetish for my boyfriend's butt is borderline obsessive. Yeah, I can't think of what else to do given OP's already told her to stop. We get it. You barged into the room of a sleeping couple without their knowledge or permission, saw something completely normal that you wouldn't have seen if you'd had a shred of normal decency and just knocked and waited, and have been telling everyone you know about it ever since like it's the most exciting thing you've ever experienced. Have you considered getting a hobby so that seeing a butt crack isn't the most exciting thing that happens to you in your adult life? So what do y'all think? Is the mom wrong for creeping, or the boyfriend wrong for sleeping? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.